o'clock. All's well. God save
the king!
The king! The king!
Where is the king?
The king is engaged, Lady Castlemaine.
Engaged? With whom?
His Majesty is detained on affairs of state.
Will you please find him? No, no, it's no use. You have promised. And now you must pay for it.
Louise.
Your Majesty may command, Your Majesty may pay.
Louise.
But I've got to have that house. And you've got to sign the lease.
Tomorrow you can have anything you want. But tonight...
No house. No tonight.
Oh.
Your Majesty.
1 moment. 11 o'clock. Tomorrow. Well, come in. Come in. What is it? Pardon my intrusion, Your Majesty. Lady Castlemaine grows very impatient. Huh. Well, you know what she can do. Your pardon. Politics. Some politics. Pray be seated.
You've been a long time.
Foreign affairs, madam. Very complicated.
Complicated.
God save the king!
I say thank you, brother.
To you and your brother. 1, 2, 3. For heaven's sake, let's stop that noise. Yes, I'll see to it. I know how to deal with these fellows.
Oh, do, Sir William. I can't concentrate.
Gossip lately?
No, Mr. Pepys, but I can hear the noise that rabble is making. I thought the Admiral was going to put a stop to it.
He's always telling us what he's going to do. Well, Sir William, what was it? They were ducking a Quaker in a barrel of beer.
Serves him right.
Miserable fellow tried to spoil all the fun, of course. Never said a word. Just stood there glum and mournful. These impudent Quakers. They belong to the common mob, and yet they behave with intolerable insolence to their betters.
They even refuse to take off their hats in the presence of a gentleman.
I never heard such insolence.
And the nonsense they talk about all men being brothers.
And equals. Egad, His Majesty does wrong to tolerate such seditious rabble. They ought to be whipped.
Well, they are sometimes.
Not often enough. William. William!
What do you say to that?
Thank you, brother.
Leave that man alone. Take that horse of him. Come on, in with him.
All right?
Yes.
Your son seems very moody of late.
That's not the right move, my dear fellow. My son's got too many girls in love with him. He's probably off to the Vauxhall Gardens now.
I have heard that he has some very odd friends.
Nonsense. He's proved himself a very good soldier. His Majesty likes him and the girls love him.
Irresistible charm. Runs in the family.
Yes. William's got a great future in front of him. My dear fellow, that's not the right move. You want to give the game away?
Forgive me, Sir William. Am I playing this game or are you?
We believe that all men are brothers, and yet we are looked upon as outcasts. We are jeered at and reviled. We believe in the teaching of love, and yet we are persecuted. But we must go on submitting to the jeers and insults and persecutions in humbleness and humility.
Why? Why submit with weakness and humility? Surely if faced with evil, it is necessary to fight it. Surely if you have this faith, it's worth fighting for.
You speak like a soldier.
I speak like a man. And hasn't every man the right to think for himself without being reviled and persecuted? God gave us a conscience, and any man who tries to take it away from us is working against God. I've thought about this a great deal. I believe as you do that all men are brothers. I believe that one day men will go back to the good, the simple, and the true. But until that day dawns, surely it is up to every man of honesty and courage to demand the right to be free. We are all equal in the eyes of God. We can all expect the same justice, the same chance to live and work, enjoy the little pleasures of life. But it's no good leaving it all to God. You've got to stand up for yourselves. Proclaim it from the housetops. And if your cause is good and just, God will help you. Faith, hope, and love will conquer the world. I'm sorry, gentlemen. My friends tell me I talk too much.
You're a great fellow, brother.
Duty and gratitude. Have you no gratitude, sir?
Yes, I'm grateful to God.
Grateful to God, yes, but what about me? Didn't I do anything for you? Haven't I taken immense pains? Yes, immense pains to fit you for a high position in life?
You did it out of your own free will, and free will is all I ask.
Don't try to impress me with your highfalutin language. I may be a plain soldier, but I can hold my own with any man.
That's why you're an admiral.
And proud of it, sir.
I'm proud of it too, Father.
I could wish you were. I fear me you have no pride. If you had, you would not want to throw away the chance of a career and cutting a fine figure at the court.
To the Quakers, all that is sheer vanity.
Now look here, William.
Let's look at this matter.
Quite plainly. Here are you, a cultured, traveled, educated gentleman with great opportunities ahead of you in the service of your country. And you want to give it all up to associate with a low, common rabble who under the cover of religion are undermining all peace and order in the state.
All I can say, Father, is that the Quakers stand for righteousness and purity.
You don't know what you're talking about. Purity. Why, at your age, I didn't know the meaning of it. But, damn me, it's not healthy. And brothers. How can all men be brothers?
But, Father, it says in the Bible that we must all...
You're just an argumentative, obstinate fool. You don't know how fortunate you are, living in the lap of luxury. Now, I make you good allowance.
Yes, far too good.
Very well. Now, you have to make a choice. If you want to associate with your crazy mob, you'll have to leave my house. I shall disinherit you and have nothing more to do with you. Now, make your choice.
I have made my choice.
You're determined to become a Quaker?
Yes, quite determined. Goodbye, Father.
Have a look at that, sir. I have here...
What's that? Oh, yes, yes, I see that. Now, there's anything here. Right. Now, look here, Bill. None of your lot. Go out, get along there. Now, there's
Try to be simple. There is a faith which overcomes the world, and there is a faith which is overcome by the world. But first we must realize that all men are born free.
Free? I'm not. I wish I was.
In the eyes of God, we are all equal.
I don't believe it. I'm not your equal. I knows a gentleman when I sees one.
And I won't be made fun of at my time of life. Why, you ought to be ashamed of yourself making fun of an old man.
Oh, I'm not making fun of you. You can think what you like. Just as we all have a right to a conscience.
The wicked should be burned.
Oh, come. That's a poor way of convincing anyone. Isn't it?
You always keep that hat on.
Yes. Except when we pray.
You go to bed in it?
No, not often.
Why do Quakers wear their hats?
Yes, tell us why.
Partly because we believe that we should not do anything that does not correspond with the feelings of our hearts. And partly to keep our heads warm. My friends, the knowledge of God does not come to us through observing the things of this world. God is in our hearts, waiting to reveal himself.
Wicked should be burned.
But is there not one amongst you who feels with me and understands me?
Yes, there is.
I've been listening to your preachings, and there's so much I'd like to talk to you about.
Let's see if we can find somewhere quiet, shall we? You see, Bindle, everyone has the right to enjoy a decent life, to have freedom and justice, and be free to worship God in his own way.
But others have spoken like you before, and political issues have got them thrown into jail.
We must have patience and courage. I tell you, the day will come when the world will be a just, friendly place. It must be so. Well, my friend, I must leave you. I'm going to London at the end of the week. You must come with me. George Fox is holding a large meeting of friends there. He feels that in these dark days, unity within the friends is essential. In essentials, unity. In non-essentials, liberty. In all things, charity. Out of our unity will come that greater unity of Europe and the world. And we cannot fail, Bindle. Well, till we meet in London. Goodbye.
They're just the same as other men, only they pretend they're not. I admit he's good looking. But he wouldn't as much as talk to you. Wouldn't he? I tell you, they're all the same. I bet you I could get him to take me out. Just for a little walk and a little... I bet you my day off you don't. Listen. You like a little ale?
Well, that's very kind of you, but I'm...
Well, that's all right, sir. It'll be on the house.
Well, thank you very much, but you see, I'm afraid I don't drink it.
Oh. Well, I thought you was looking a bit lonely-like, so I
Oh,
thought...
I'm not lonely. I'm in very good company.
Well, a book's not much company. Don't you ever want to enjoy yourself? You know, we're all human. We all want to enjoy ourselves.
Oh, I do enjoy myself.
Do you?
Yes, I do. I think of all the charming people around the world, kind people, friendly people, like yourself, for instance.
Well, I know a man when I see one. And if you say you like enjoying yourself, perhaps
You know,
we...
when people disappoint you, there are the fields and the trees. We've so much to be thankful for. You know, sometimes I almost feel ashamed to think I'm so lucky. Don't you ever feel like that?
Well,
I expect you're too busy to think of such things. You know, you should read this sometime.
what is it?
It's the Bible.
Well, have you got it? No, I haven't. And there are some good men, after all.
I wonder if you'd be so kind.
No beggars, no peddlers, no vagabonds.
But I only want a drink of water. I'd be very grateful for a drink of water.
Water? Who are you?
Well, my name is William Penn.
Is it? Are you quite sure now you're not a thief?
Oh, you needn't be frightened. If you just let me in to have a glass of water, I promise you I won't even talk.
Come in.
Thank you.
Sit down over there.
That's very kind of you. Good evening.
Good evening.
It's a very pleasant room, isn't it? All very busy.
There you are.
Thank you. Ah, very good. Tell me, did you ever think how strange it is?
It's dangerous to think.
Yes, I suppose it is in these days. You're quite right. But mark my words, the time will come.
Will it now?
Yes. The time will come when people won't think it eccentric to be kind to each other.
You can't change human nature.
Ah, but true human nature is divine. That we all must realize. Every country, creed, rich or poor. Tell me, whose house is this?
It's the house of Sir William Pennington.
The William Pennington.
So,
Now, don't tell me you want to talk to him because you can't. And even if you could, he isn't here.
No, he and Lady Pennington are dining out tonight.
Well, now that you've had your drink of water, is there anything more you'd be wanting? Now, you can have that. And I think you'd better be going now, or we'll have Miss Julie after us.
and who is Miss Julie?
She's Lady Pennington's daughter, and she's giving a party to all her young men.
What, all of them?
Yes, and they're all in love with her.
You keep a respectable tongue in your head. Well, now, just a minute before you go. What did you mean just now when you talked about human nature?
Well, Johnny, what's your name?
Maggie Murphy, sir.
Well, Maggie, what I meant was...
One little smile from you, and it's heaven.
Oh, I don't like compliments.
There's so little you do like, Miss Julie.
Well, I must admit I'm bored.
I don't think your governess approves of the trend of the conversation.
She's got earache, poor dear, and her ears are stuffed with cotton wool. Isn't that so, Miss Duplessis? No, my dear. I'd rather make it. There you are.
If I may say so, Miss Julie, you make one great mistake. You always have lots of people around you, instead of just one person.
To be perfectly frank, and tonight I can be frank because Mr. Duplessis can't hear, I have no intention whatsoever of letting any one person take up all my time at any time.
Dash it all, that's not fair. I proposed to you 3 times.
And I've given you an answer, which is more than the servants are giving me. I'd better go and see what's happened to them. Where are you going, my dear? There's an epidemic of deafness in the house. Yes, my dear. I think you left it in the drawing room.
Do we not know night is good and the day is good without the wishing of either? We must always do and say according to the feelings of our own true hearts. Let us then beware of affectation in our speech.
Have you all gone mad? What are you doing? Take those hats off at once.
Excuse me, Miss Julie, but this gentleman has converted us.
Converted you?
Yes, miss. We've seen the light.
Oh, I see. A Quaker.
Yes, a Quaker. Do you mind?
I'm not sufficiently interested to mind. But Mother said Quakers were not to be allowed near the house.
Ah, but if I talk with her, she'll soon change her mind.
You're very sure of yourself.
Yes, I am. You know, I think I could even convert you.
You couldn't?
Yes, I could.
How do you know?
Your eyes give you away.
Is it? They do nothing of the sort. And if you're determined to go on talking like this, you'd better come into the dining room. Then perhaps we can get some service in the house.
What did you say her name was?
Miss Julie Elmer.
Julie Elmer.
There's a talkative Quaker in the kitchen. He's coming in to convert you.
Convert us? How dare he?
Oh, it'll be fun. You'll see.
Good evening.
Come in, come in. Who might this be?
I don't think we've had the pleasure.
No man has ever spoken to me with his hat on. Take it off at once. Oh, but he can't. You see, he's a Quaker. Oh, it's made of paper. Do sit down, won't you?
Yeah, thank you.
Extraordinary behavior.
These, I suppose, are your young friends.
Yes. Why, don't you approve of them?
What a pity.
What do you mean?
Well, what a pity it is that you all lead such idle, useless lives.
And what do you do, my man? Just preach?
Yes, if you'd like to put it that way.
Shall I throw him out?
No, sit down.
Well, you see, you're all so thoroughly bored of yourselves.
What do you mean?
You know, you get so much more out of life if you took a bit of interest in it. For instance, you'll find that there was satisfaction and pleasure to be found in helping others. The secret of happiness, gentlemen, is to be found in that one word, love. It is the key, gentlemen. And it was given to us by the Son of Man in Galilee. A very long time ago.
Talks well, but a common fellow.
You're a sort of parrot, aren't you? Yes, I suppose I am. But a happy one. Because all the time I'm repeating something which is true.
I will not sit here and listen to this unspeakable rudeness.
Shall I throw him out?
No, I will.
Gentlemen, please. I will show him out.
But you can't. The fellow's dangerous.
I think you'd better go.
As you wish. It's all very beautiful, isn't it? You know, you remind me of a lot of lovely peacocks. Oh, forgive me, gentlemen. No offense meant. I bid you all a very good night.
Where are you going now?
I'm going to London.
Why are you smiling?
I'm smiling because today I've met the girl I'm going to marry.
Is she very lovely?
Very lovely.
And you love her very much?
I think... Forever.
That's a long time. When are you going to marry her?
Oh, I haven't asked her to marry me yet.
Well, perhaps she'll refuse you.
Somehow I don't think she will.
Does she live in London?
And I can't ask her to come with me because I'm a Quaker. And in my company, London is no place for a lady these days. It's a place of blood and fire. But it's my place. I'm going to join my brother Quakers. And I mean to join them to some purpose. But I shall come back. Tell me. Do you think she'll wait for me?
Yes, she'll wait for you.
How long?
Forever. Julie! Julie! Good night.
Good night. And keep her safe for me. Will you?
Good night. Wait! Wait! I don't even know your name.
It's William. William Penn.
Freedom. He's a great fellow. And I'm chained to this one life. What was it he told us? Freedom?
Of thought. Freedom of speech. Equality for all men.
You're balmy.
What do you want to go on reading for? Why don't you admit you're finished? Dead like the rest of us.
Ah, there's hope for us all. But someone must tell the world of the suffering here at Newgate. That's why I'm preparing my defense. And the law's on my side.
You're optimistic, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Lucky to be alive in this hope. You'll all be dead soon.
No, we won't. There's justice in England. And mercy.
Not for the likes of us.
Ah, Lady Pennington, the young men of today are not what the young men were of our time.
No poise, no manners, and no morals.
And no decency. You heard, of course, of old Admiral Penn's death.
Oh, yes.
But his son William is to be tried next week. Tried like a common thief.
Oh, how dreadful.
And well, he deserved it. I understand that he was preaching trouble and sedition.
He was not. He couldn't. He loved loves people, not hates them.
Julie, really? You forget yourself. How dare you defend this criminal? You don't even know him.
Oh, Mother.
I'm sorry to see you here, young man.
I'm sorry to see myself here, but it could be worse. Not much, though.
Well, you have only yourself to blame. This is no place for the son of a distinguished admiral.
If you ask me, this is no place for the son of any man.
Then it is up to you, my dear boy. All you've got to do is to admit that you were wrong. Promise never to repeat the offense, and His Majesty will be pleased to have you released.
No, I can't admit that I was wrong. Because I didn't do anything wrong. Since when has freedom of speech been forbidden?
Oh, come, before it is too late, adopt a more reasonable view, and all will be well. A fine young man like yourself can expect to be favored by the king.
What about my conscience?
Compromise.
There can be no compromise. Every man is entitled to think for himself and worship God in his own way.
Really, you quite shock me. Don't you realize you are running the risk of a long sentence in jail? Don't you realize that the maximum penalty under the new act is death?
But I'm going to be tried by a jury.
The jury will be composed of uncouth, uneducated fellows who might well want to hang you.
Why should they want to do that?
If they find you guilty.
But I'm not. I'm quite content to place myself in the hands of 12 Englishmen. So don't worry, my captain.
But aren't you afraid?
No. I'm not afraid.
And the aforesaid William Penn unlawfully and tumultuously did assemble and congregate together with divers other persons in the street called Grace Church Street, to the disturbance of the peace of the said Lord the King, his crown and dignity. Take off your hat. Do you hear me? Take off your hat!
Who bid you put off his hat? Put it on again. For wearing your hat, I fine you 40 shillings for contempt of court. You know the charge which has been preferred against you.
Yes, I do.
I vow, Mr. Penn, I'm sorry for you. You are an ingenious gentleman. All the world must allow that. And you have a plentiful estate. Why must you then render yourself unhappy by associating with such simple people as the Quakers?
I confess I have made it my choice to relinquish the company of those who are ingenuously wicked, to converse with those who are more honestly simple.
You appear to have everything a young man could desire. Health, a reasonable appearance, and intelligence. With very little trouble on your part, you could add to these advantages the benefits of money, property, and solid influence.
There is no harm in being religious, but you must choose a right sort of religion.
And there's a limit to what a gentleman can do.
Look here, if you persist in trying to convert me, I shall try and convert you.
I wish you were a wiser man.
I wish you were a better man.
Mr. Penn, I have no ill will towards you. In fact, I have a great deal of kindness for you.
Then you have an ill way of expressing it. After all, the question is not whether I'm guilty of the indictment, but whether the indictment be legal.
But the new Act of Parliament...
The new Act had nothing to do with the meeting I was conducting.
You're an impersonal fellow. Would you teach the court law?
The Act is not valid in law. If the Lord Coke in his Institutes, Volume 2, page 56, be of any weight, common law is common right. And common right is the great charter privilege confirmed by Henry III. And in that charter it says that every Englishman can...
Take him away! Take him away! My lord, if you do not take some course to stop this impertinent fellow's mouth, we shall not do anything all day.
Very well, take him away. Turn him into the bail dock.
This is a ridiculous charge. Is this justice or judgment? I am not to be silent in a case where I am so vitally concerned. And not only myself, but many 10,000 families besides.
Now, gentlemen of the jury, you have just witnessed the disgraceful behavior of the prisoner. You have also heard the indictment. It is for preaching trouble and sedition.
Trouble and sedition? Is that what you call free speech? Jurymen, I appeal to you who are my judges.
and to this vast assembly whether the proceedings of the court are not most arbitrary and void of all law in endeavoring to charge the jury in the absence of the prisoner.
But you are present. You can hear, can you not?
Jurymen, I have not been heard. And you cannot legally depart from the court until I have been fully heard.
Pull that fellow down. Pull him down.
I appeal to the jury who are my judge that they cannot leave.
Gentlemen of the jury, you will now consider your verdict. I need hardly tell you that there can be only one possible verdict, guilty. Anything else would be a personal affront to this court and would be received as such.
Yes, my lord.
We wait for verdict. It should not take...
While they are considering, shall we retire for a glass of sherry?
Well, now, that's a very difficult judicial problem. But I think in this case, the verdict is...
Not guilty. What? Not guilty.
I tell you, my man, what is your name?
Busham, my lord.
Then I tell you deserve to be indicted more than any man indicted this day.
Indicted for what offense?
You're an impertinent fellow. I shall put a mark on you. And I shall deal with all of you. Most of you work in the city, don't you? Very well, then. You know what can happen to you. You, Master Rolfe, you're employed by Thomas Elgin, aren't you? Well, we'll see.
Master Bushel is right, my lord, to our way of thinking.
What? Are you to be led by a fool like Bushel, a pitiful, canting knave? And you, Bushel, a pretty foreman indeed. I thought you knew your place better.
Jury, who are my judges, ought not thus to be menaced. Their verdict should be free and not compelled.
Gentlemen, you will not be dismissed till you bring in a verdict that the court will accept. You shall be locked up without meat, drink, fire, or tobacco.
We will have the right verdict.
Or you shall starve for it.
The case is adjourned. The jury are to be locked up for the night.
You are Englishmen. Remember your privilege. Give not away your right.
That we will never do.
What is your verdict?
Not guilty, my lord.
Not guilty, eh?
My lord, we give no other verdict than we gave last night.
You give no other verdict than you gave last night.
Sir Thomas, I have done according to my conscience.
That conscience of yours would cut my throat.
No, my lord. It never shall.
But I'll cut yours as soon as I can.
He has inspired the jury. But mark ye, gentlemen, I will have a positive verdict or else you shall starve. A parcel of sniveling, whining...
I desire to ask the recorder a question. Do you not allow the verdict?
Not guilty is no verdict.
And if not guilty be no verdict, you make of the jury and the Great Charter a mere farce.
I say it is no verdict.
It is intolerable that my jury should be thus menaced. Is this according to the fundamental laws of England?
Silent! If you're not, I swear by my life, sir, you shall suffer for it.
Till now, I never understood the reason of the policy and prudence of the Spaniards in suffering the Inquisition among them. And certainly, it will never be well with us till something like the Spanish Inquisition be in England.
Mr. Lee, draw up another verdict that they may bring it in special.
Special?
Yes.
I don't know how to do it.
He doesn't know how to do it.
But the verdict has been brought.
Take him away.
I say the verdict...
Gentlemen of the jury, I say you shall go back and bring in another verdict or else you will starve. And we'll have you dragged through the city.
This cannot go on.
For the 20th time, what is your verdict?
Still not guilty, my lord.
Very well. But I'm sorry, gentlemen, that you have followed your own judgments and opinions rather than the good advice which I have offered you.
God keep my life out of your hand.
But for this, you will be fined 40 shillings a man, and you will be imprisoned in Newgate until the fines be paid.
But these men can never pay. I have been freed by the jury, and I demand my liberty.
You demand? You're jailed for your fines.
Fines for what?
For contempt of court.
I shall pay no fines. It is unlawful, and I shall appeal.
And so shall we.
It will not help any of you.
We have cited the Spanish Inquisition. Be it so, gentlemen. We shall see how you will enjoy the hospitality of His Majesty's prison at Newgate. And until you see the error of your ways, there you shall stay and rot.
I'm glad I went. The trial will go down as a landmark in the history of English law.
Why?
Why? Well, it will definitely establish the absolute right of juries to bring in a verdict according to their conscience.
But juries are notoriously composed of fools.
Yes, but in bringing in a verdict for the plaintiff and in rebuking the Lord Mayor, Mr. Justice Newdicate said that judges were free to open the eyes of the jury, but not to lead them by the nose. I don't really approve. I suppose I should.
My dear.
But after all, my dear fellow, it is to the courage of such fools as Bushell and his fellow jurymen that England owes her renown as the home of justice.
Well, gentlemen, I can only thank you. You are the true spirit of England.
We only did what we knew was right.
To do what is right isn't always easy.
Don't go and get yourself into trouble again.
Good luck, sir.
Thanks. I shall be needing it. I've been a long time, haven't I?
Such a long time.
William Penn and Julielma Maria Springett propose their intention of taking each other in marriage.
In the presence of God and these our friends, I, William, take thee, Julielma, to be my wife, promising to be to thee loving, kind, and faithful, so long as it shall please God to continue our natural lives.
In the presence of God and these our friends, I, Julielma, take thee, William, to be my husband, promising to be to thee loving, kind, and faithful, so long as it shall please God to continue our natural lives.
Is as boundless as the sea, my love as deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have. For both are infinite. You know, I heard that in a play once.
You used to go to the playhouse?
Once upon a time. But that was long before I met you. Oh. That's naughty.
No, we Quakers aren't supposed to wear jewelry.
And where did you get it from?
It's always been mine. I know I shouldn't wear it, but my father gave it to me on my 12th birthday.
Then you wear it, my darling.
You don't mind?
No, I don't mind. Can you smell anything burning?
Burning?
I can.
Burning? Oh, darling,
Is it all right?
It's funny the way music makes you forget things.
Not the way I play it. Oh. Well, it looks delicious anyway. We soon see. Now then. Shall I taste it first? You taste it.
No, don't eat it, dear. It doesn't taste good.
I like it.
Oh, it's awful, I know. I did try. The recipe said leave in the oven for 2 hours.
You're sure it didn't say leave in the oven?
I didn't realize how difficult cooking was.
Never mind. I didn't marry you for your cooking. Come on. Come and play to me again.
William. Meet William.
Thank you, Doctor.
Don't thank me.
Why don't they arrest me? I can't understand it. They simply refuse to arrest me.
But we must be grateful for that.
But I can't stand by and see all the other Quakers being persecuted for their beliefs. What can I do?
I wish I could help.
You do help me, my darling.
How long? It's long past William's bedtime.
Is it? Good night, William. There's a very strange world in front of you, my little man. I wish I could give you a new one. All bright and shiny. Good night.
Come on. A new world.
Yes. Christ said, "Behold, I will make all things new." You see, Julie, it's the spirit of that which we must capture.
William,
Yes?
America's a new world.
America?
You could start from the beginning there.
Yes. We could leave behind all the hatred and foolish customs of the old world. We could take America and turn it into a vast continent where freedom of thought and liberty of conscience would be the birthright of every man. And our laws would be just because they'd be the laws of Christ.
William, you must go. You've got to go to America.
Yes, Julie, you're right. It's the answer to all our problems. America.
I'm smiling because I wish posterity to remember me smiling.
Certainly, Your Majesty. But would you please keep still?
John?
Dear.
Please do not fidget. How can I paint if you fidget?
My sincere apologies.
It is no good. I have finished. I shall not paint any more today.
Now look what you've done.
You're very happy.
Yes, I like this place. So far removed from all my creditors. What a pleasant new experience.
Couldn't we find another new experience?
Excuse me, Jane. What is it?
There is a man called William Penn. He claims he's expected by Your Majesty.
William Penn. Yes. Yes, bring him in.
Penn? The Quaker?
Yes?
What would people say if they knew you were hobnobbing with Quakers?
They say enough anyhow. I have to see the boy for the sake of his late father, who's a friend of mine. Wonder what he wants with me. Ah, my young friend.
Take your hat off. I cannot do it, not even in the presence of a king.
It is customary here only for one person to wear a hat. But as you know, I have always endeavored to respect others' beliefs.
Another thing I can't do is to call your majesty, your majesty. We make no distinction to us, all men and brothers.
I quite understand. Now tell me what's been happening. I haven't seen you for years.
Yet I have been your guest.
I trust you were not too uncomfortable. This is William Penn, Lady Castleton.
Obviously, Mr. Penn wishes to speak to your majesty alone.
And now, what can I do for you?
It's about money.
Money? Oh, you must see my personal financial advisor and have a talk with him.
It is with you I want to talk. About the money you owed my father.
Did I owe him money? Yes, I suppose I did.
£17,000 to be exact.
As much as that? I wonder where it could have got to. You know, it's extraordinary how quickly money goes. Have you noticed that? Or are you married?
Yes, I have a very beautiful wife.
Really? Tell me about her.
The money matter is urgent.
Money matters always are urgent and always tiresome.
Not only my happiness, but the happiness of thousands of people depends on it.
Money isn't everything, you know. And I'm rather surprised that you, a Quaker, should set so much store by it. I always thought you fellows took no interest in such sordid mercenary matters. Anyway, if you had it, you'd only spend it, my dear boy.
Yes, I should spend it, and I can tell you how.
Oh, I know all about spending. That's not the difficulty.
If I had that money, I'd like to buy something from you.
Buy? From me? But I have nothing to sell.
You have land.
Oh, heavily mortgaged.
Land in your vast territories in America.
You mean you want to buy land in America? Whatever for?
Here in England, the persecution of my brother Quakers is intensified every day.
I have no hand in that.
You tolerate it. But if you gave us land in the New World, we could go there and start a new life. We would treat the Indians as brothers and gain their friendship by a kind, just, peaceable life. We would raise great communities and build great cities and be free to worship God in our own way. Here we go hand in hand with death. And there we would work and prosper and build up a state which would be a pattern of the world. Isn't it an experiment worth trying? A holy experiment? But perhaps the king is not interested.
Ah, Mr. Penn, Mr. Penn, how little people know me or understand me. I fear a man of pleasure. Deep in my heart, I am the true father of my dear people. I am King of England. And to be King of England is to be the guardian of Britain's glory, and Britain's honor, and Britain's future. Who knows? One day across this sea, which shall be our defense, this undeveloped colony of which you speak may become the champion for the truth and the freedom of all men.
Then we may have the land.
I don't see why not.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
Thank you, brother. Now tell me, what you're going to name this new colony of yours?
Well, I hadn't thought of it. Perhaps we can call it after Your Majesty.
Oh, no, there are already two colonies named after me, North Carolina and South Carolina.
Well, it's a leafy, wooded country, perhaps. Sylvania.
Oh, why not Pennsylvania?
And then he said, why not call it Pennsylvania?
Oh, but people will think you've called it after yourself.
I know, but you wouldn't change it to that it is. Anyway, Penn is your name, isn't it? I thought it was the king's suggestion, not mine.
Tell me, what sort of man is he?
Oh, he's very amusing. And he's a man of great vision.
You know, I can still hardly believe it. Does it mean we are going?
Well, I don't know about we, but I shall have to go. After all, I shall be the governor of the province.
But don't you want me to come with you?
Yes, of course I do. But America's a long way away, and there's nothing ready there. And then there's William.
I know, but you couldn't go without me. Well, I wouldn't let you. I'd face anything with you. You don't know how brave I could be.
You're afraid of mice.
But there aren't any mice in America.
Aren't there?
Only Indians. And I'd rather face an Indian with you than a mouse.
You would?
How soon shall we be starting?
I don't know. The charter hasn't been signed yet. I expect it'll take a few months. You know how these things are. I hope it won't be too long.
He granted the tract of land in America north of Maryland, bounded on the east by the Delaware, on the west limited as Maryland, northward as far as Planterville. And in return for this, His Majesty the King is to receive annually 2 beaver skins.
Never know, might come in useful.
And 1/5 of any gold or silver found in the province.
Which would not be unwelcome.
Dated this day, the 4th of March, 1681.
Are you still determined to sign this curious document?
Yes, quite determined. Anything else?
This map indicates quite clearly the boundaries. 6 degrees of latitude between the northern boundary of Maryland and the southern boundary of New York.
Yes, quite. My congratulations, Mr. Governor Penn.
Your Majesty won't regret it.
I hope not.
I have drawn up a frame of government, a sort of draft on which I intend to base the administration of the state.
What do you know of administration?
I've studied it a great deal. This is what I propose as the basis of the state's policy. It is merely an assertion of the rights of man to a conscience. I do, for me and mine, declare and establish for the first fundamental of the government of my province that every person that doth and shall reside therein shall have and enjoy the free profession of his or her faith, and exercise worship towards God in such a way and manner as every such person shall, in conscience, believe is most acceptable to God.
Not content to be a so-called idealist. You're an ambitious man, it seems, Mr. Penn.
Yes, I dream of conquests.
Conquests?
Yes. I intend to conquer by love and govern by truth.
Well spoken.
If your Majesty will forgive me, I should like it to be placed on record that I consider the entire enterprise ridiculous and fantastic and bound to end in disaster.
And what is your opinion, my Lord Halifax? I think that Mr. Penn is an extremely brave gentleman, and I should like to wish him luck.
King is the winning move. So it seems. This morning, passing not far below London Bridge, I saw the Welcome.
What's that?
The ship that is to take Penn and some of the Quakers to America.
Oh, I thought they'd gone.
Oh, only the first batch. Penn is sailing tomorrow. Check.
I've packed your shirts in the second trunk, dear. They've all been mended.
Thank you, my darling.
And the scones are in the box with the provisions. I made them myself.
Did you? And I know I shall enjoy them.
You will try not to walk about in the rain and get your feet wet, won't you?
Try, but I won't promise anything. You promise to look after yourself, don't you?
Of course. William, we've never been away from each other before. Won't be for long, will it?
Of course not, my darling. As soon as I get to America, I'll build a home for us. And then I'll come back to fetch you. Tell me, do you think she'll wait for me?
She'll wait for you.
Oh, no.
Forever.
me before, and I can tell you that at this time of the year, it's not a thing to be lightly undertaken. The weather's bad, the sea's rough, and with 100 passengers on board, it's not easy to survive such a long voyage.
Don't worry, Greenaway, we'll survive all right.
Ready for casting off, set?
Not yet. There's an important passenger coming aboard. Ah, look at him. Isn't he a beauty? Have to take good care of him, Mr. Mate. He's going to sire the finest breed of horses in America.
What do you want to take a horse with you for?
That's no ordinary horse. That's Tamerlane.
No, it'll never get there.
You are a cheerful fellow.
What is it to be cheerful about? You've never crossed the Atlantic.
Penn and his followers will be better off in jail, and your Majesty would be well advised to prevent this foolish expedition. I'm sure my Lady Castlemaine agrees.
My Lord Arlington is right. And there's still time to stop them sailing. Charles, if only you'd taken my advice, everything...
Yes, my dear, you always give me good advice. In fact, I've already sent a messenger to the ship less than an hour ago.
Charles, you think of everything.
William Penn.
Yes, I'm William Penn.
A message from His Majesty.
God bless you all. May he grant you a speedy voyage and give you happiness in your new home. Charles R. God bless the King.
Heave at the way!
My life watch over and bless you. My love, which neither sea nor land nor death itself can lessen, will abide with you forever.
Ben! Miss Ben!
What is it?
Smallpox has broken out.
Penn, there's smallpox aboard. We're turning back.
There's to be no turning back on this voyage.
Captain's orders, Mr. Penn. The man's to be thrown overboard and the ship turned back for England.
All right, I'll see the captain.
Look! Look! Get away from him!
Keep clear of that man. If we're not careful, we'll have the whole crew down with smallpox.
But, Captain, the man's ill. You can't leave him to die.
I'm captain of this ship, Mr. Penn, and I say keep away from that man. Mr. Mate, get a sack and throw him overboard.
Hi, you. Get a sack and throw him overboard.
I warn you, Mr. Penn, if you touch that man, I'll have you put in irons. Mr. Penn, you've heard my orders. Keep away from that man.
Davis, bring me some water.
No, I'm afraid. I'm afraid. I can't do it. I'll get the plague.
Davis, come here. There's nothing to be afraid of. Now get me some water.
Yes, Mr. Penn.
Penn. Which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom.
Humphreys, how are you feeling?
You're guilty.
Don't you worry, I'll be all right. Ford?
That you, Brother Penn?
Yes, it's me.
What's to become of us? What's to become of us?
We'll get over it all right. You try and rest now.
God bless you.
This, Mr. Penn, is Captain Cockrell. There's nothing he doesn't know about India.
I've heard a lot about you, Captain. I'm very pleased to meet you. You know, the first thing I want you to do is to teach me the Indian language.
It ain't so easy, Mr. Penn.
We'll swing it over that. Well, gentlemen, I can only thank you from the bottom of my heart for the fine work you've done, and in so short a time. But we've still got a lot ahead of us. Holmes, let me have a look at my plan of the city again, will you?
Well, Mr. Penn, as an architect, I can only congratulate you. But if I may say so, I think 10,000 acres is a lot of land reserve. 1,200 would be far more sensible.
Oh, no, Holmes. We shall need all the land we can get. You see, the city is laid out in a rectangular system. A series of parallel highways reaching across from river to river. Here, two great streets, each a mile in length. Broad Street and High Street. In the center of the city, a grand square of 10 acres. And then, in each quarter, a square of 8 acres each.
Yes,
it's all practical, and we shall need all the land we can get. Now, there's only one thing that's worrying me, and that's the name. Coacoan. Cockrell, that's Indian, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a pretty sounding name. Tell me, what's the Indian word for brotherhood? Or love?
Yeah.
We can't really call it that, can we?
We might as well have it in Greek.
Greek? Yes, that's an idea. Why don't we give it the Greek name? Philadelphos. Philadelphia.
No one will ever remember that.
I think they will.
Provisions good, easy to come at. Oh, how sweet is the quiet of these parts, free from the worries and perplexities of woeful Europe. Oh, Hannah. Oh, what is it, love? What is it? Lie back. Let me unloosen your collar. No, Hannah, it's all right. It's nothing. Let me go on reading. I am happy. But what makes me happy is not merely to see a prosperous community growing and thriving. No, it's the fact that we've had no quarrels, no rivalries, and no jealousies. Oh, if you would only hear, my darling, to see Philadelphia, truly the city of brotherly love. City of brotherly love.
Yes, swine. You'll hang on that tree till you rot. And it'll be a lesson to you and other dirty redskins that this is a white man's country.
Keith! What do you think you're doing? Untie that man.
They've killed one of our outpost men. We found him scalped with an arrow through his neck. These Indians must be taught a lesson, Mr. Penn.
But that's not the way to teach them. They've been tortured and massacred too long. They've lost faith. This Indian must be sent back to his tribe.
That's no good. We've tried kindness. It won't work.
Won't it?
No. All right, boys. String him up. Yes, come on.
John, stop that axe. You heard Mr. Penn's orders?
I'm not taking any orders from Mr. Penn.
All right, you've asked for it.
I had to do it, Cockle. You know, he might have killed a man. All right, boys. Untie him. Cockle, ask him his name.
Umtahar. He says his name's Little White Owl.
Well, Little White Owl, you're free. You can go back to your tribe and tell them that the white man sends greetings to the great Red Chief. And tell him that before many moons wane, if he's agreeable, a certain Mr. Penn will pay him an informal visit. Now, tell him all that, Cockle.
They've been gone 3 days. If you ask me, I think we've lost our dear governor for good and all.
Only a fool would venture unarmed into Indian territory. Penn can't understand that Christianity is not practical when you're dealing with a lot of savages.
I hope Captain Cockle makes good use of his pistol.
Ah, look at them up there. Those stars. They've been shining ever since the world began. Good night, Cockle.
Well, they're not back yet.
Expect him, did you?
No.
Now, quiet, brothers, quiet. It's no good arguing. What are we going to do?
Let me lead an expedition to avenge the governor.
But he said...
Well, what's it matter what he said? That was 10 days ago.
Bloodshed was the one thing the governor wished to avoid. He and Captain Cockle went to meet the Indians for that very purpose, risking their lives. Are we to count that for nothing?
Sentimentality. I was as much for Governor Penn as anyone. He was always a dreamer, talker. And with the Red Devils, it's deeds that count, not words.
Burn their villages, that'll punish the heathens.
He's back! The governor's back!
Thank God you're safe, Penn.
Have you heard of Shakamak, son?
Yes?
Well, in 7 days' time, we sign a peace treaty there with the Algonquin Indians. The great spirit who made me and you, who rules the heavens and the earth, and knows the innermost thoughts of man, knows that I and my friends have a hearty desire to live in peace and friendship with you. It is not our custom to use hostile weapons against our fellow creatures, for which reason we have come unarmed. We are met on the broad pathway of good faith and goodwill, so that no advantage is to be taken on either side. But all is to be openness, brotherhood, and love.
So let it be. While creeks and rivers run, and sun and moon and stars endure.
What am I to do, Home? Keith is undermining the confidence of the whole state. Even the council is showing it.
Oh, things will settle down. Just a passing phase.
Yes, but it's such a waste of time. And then there's this boundary question, Maryland claiming part of Pennsylvania.
Is it true that the governor of Maryland is going to fight the case in England?
Yes. I'm afraid I shall have to return to England, too.
But you can't do that now. You're needed here more than ever to carry things on.
Pennsylvania must be made secure. And then there's this problem of self-government. That's got to be settled, too.
The king will never grant that.
He must. We've made Pennsylvania safe from the Indians, and we must consolidate that safety by gaining complete independence. It's the only way. I'm going back to England.
Come on, let's have it. Hey, out.
England.
Ford, can you see Mrs. Penn anywhere?
No, I can't.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
Mr. Penn, a message from Dr. Vernon.
What is it?
It's Mrs. Penn, sir. You must get to London at once.
I must see her. There's nothing you can do, Mr. Penn. She's not in pain. I must see her. Mr. Penn. Julie.
My poor William.
Julie.
You mustn't cry.
I'm not crying. I only want you to get well. I've come to take you back to Philadelphia. I can't do anything there without you.
I'll never leave you, my darling. Always remember that. I'll always be with you. Forever. You must be brave, my darling. They need you.
Don't talk, my darling. Rest.
I love you.
Julie. Good evening, Hannah.
Oh, Mr. Brindle, will you come in?
Hannah,
This is Brother Pearson from Philadelphia. And this is Brother Klaus from Amsterdam.
You've heard, Mr. Bindle?
Yes. Mrs. Penn's death was a great shock to us all, Hannah.
Oh, Mr. Bindle, I'm so glad you've come. I'm so frightened. When she died, all life seemed to go out of him. He's been with her ever since. He won't move. Nothing I can say.
No, Hannah. Do you think he'll see me?
But it's no good, Mr. Bindle. He only stares and stares. I think he's going out of his mind.
But I must speak to him, Hannah. Brother Pearson has come with many messages from America. And Brother Klaus has come with nearly 100 friends from all over Europe. They've given up everything in order that they may start a new life out in America. They're all waiting to sail.
Well, Mr. Penn won't go back to America now, sir.
What do you mean, Hannah?
He told me so before she died. Hannah, he said to me, if Julie dies, my heart will die. I shall give up everything. She's my life, Hannah. She's my life.
What are we to do? Everything is ready. The ship is sailing from London docks.
If he doesn't return to Pennsylvania, the state will go to rack and ruin in a month. Even now, they've started quarreling and intriguing among themselves. No, without Penn's leadership, it is no use going on.
I will have to return to Holland. They won't go to America without William Penn. All the faith and hope of their future lives are in his keeping. He's their only salvation.
Gentlemen, if everything is ready, we sail with the tide.
Dearest William, it is now nearly a year since you went away. What can I write to you? Oh, William, when will you return to me? I pray every night for your sake.